Hey folks, Eric Melton here, caricature artist and illustrator, meltonart.com. A good friend of mine asked me to do a video tutorial on my technique for drawing quick style caricatures. Nothing really rehearsed or written. It's just going to be me doing a couple sketches and kind of talking through my process a little bit. So hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you get something out of it. And real quickly, before I get started, the marker I'm going to be using is the Casemate permanent marker. This is a super cheap marker that you can pick up at your local retail store. I think I picked these up at Walmart for about 44 cents for a 2-pack. So they're super cheap. There's obviously other markers that are a lot better quality, but for someone just starting out, or even for someone on a budget, these things do a really good job. And again, this is not a how to draw caricatures per se video. There's plenty of other tutorials which I will point you to in the description below. It's going to teach you the how to exaggerate, the what to look for, all those things. This is just strictly me running through my process of doing a 3-minute sketch. There are two basic methods of caricature art. There is the outside-in method and the inside-out method. The inside-out method obviously starts with the features and works their way out. The outside-in starts with the shape of the face and works their way in. Again, this video is not going to be a video of teaching you how much to exaggerate or what style to use. This is just a basic how-to as far as a method to get you started. So first and foremost, don't be scared of the marker. Be bold. And this is going to be one of those things that's going to take practice. It's not going to happen overnight. So I'm going to start off with the shape of the face. I'm going to draw the face. And again, if you want to go look at those other videos, they will get more into the details of how to decide what to exaggerate. A lot of what I'm doing is based off of strictly just instinct and years of experience. There's no better teacher than years of experience and practice. This is not something you're going to be able to do overnight. This is something that's going to take practice. So I've got the basic face shape. I'm going to fire right in with the ear. Again, not scared of the marker. You know what? If I screw up, I can grab another sheet of paper. Paper's cheap. And I have to give credit where credit is due. I was taught by Mr. Dion Socia. I worked for him at Carowinds for Commons Art Shops. And that was my first job doing caricatures. Alright, this is guy's got glasses, so I always like to do the glasses second because that gives you a good frame of reference. Literally a frame, get it? Frame of reference for where everything else is going to sit. And again, I'm just looking at the shapes, and I'm just asking myself again, I'm just looking at the shapes and I'm asking myself questions like you know, what stands out to me. And this is by no means something that's going to be the same every time. Honestly, that's one of the things I would really challenge you to do is try to see each face differently. Even the same face, like I could draw the same face, you know, 5 times and try to see something different each time. I mean, there's obviously going to be things that's going to be distinct to that person that's not really going to change. But at the same time, there are certain features that will stand out to you. And I've honestly found that the more I draw a face, the more I learn the face, the more I learn the structure. I can look back at caricatures I did early on and say, wow, I had no clue what I was doing. And, you know, and even to this day, there's some days I'm like, man, I suck today. So don't ever feel like this is something you're going to master. Although people will, you know, people tell me, hey, you're a master at that. I don't feel like a master by any means. I feel like a lifelong student of the art form. And I think that's the secret to any success in any kind of business, is just to always be willing to learn, always be willing to try something new. So there's a little quick sketch of this guy. All right, so we're going to draw this young lady, and like I say, if you watch some of these other videos, you're going to ask yourself questions. You're going to say, what stands out to me? I assume you already have a basic knowledge of human anatomy in the face. If you don't, I do highly recommend maybe just taking a portrait class or learning portraiture, because I actually learned portraiture before I learned caricature, and a lot of what I was taught as a caricaturist is based off of the basic knowledge of portraiture. So this young lady, the first thing I notice about her is those big eyes she has. So whenever I get her sketched out here, I'll, again, outside in, I start with the general shapes of the head, and this is where the speed comes in. Get that basic shape down, get a neck. And I will have to say real quickly about when it comes to necks and shoulders in general, it is so easy to fall into a habit of just making everyone the same. And even down to those details, those are important as far as making the person distinct. Not everyone has a little skinny neck. I mean, obviously caricatures, for the most part, are going to be a big head, little body, or little neck. But, you know, I've drawn people before that have just these big, thick Hulk necks, and I exaggerate that too. So she has a little bit of a, I would say relatively small nose. And there again, I'm not the best exaggeration artist, but honestly, exaggeration, that's another thing, is a lot of these guys teach this hyper exaggeration, and I think it's just freaking fantastic. But at the same time, I honestly feel if you're really going to tear up someone and really exaggerate their face, you've got to know what the hell you're doing. If you don't do it right, or if you don't do it consistent, then it just makes you look like you're being a jerk. And I think that's where some people get put off by it, and they think we're making a judgment about them, and we're not. Honestly, a good caricature, you know, I have to talk about Joe Bloom again, because his work is just so spot on. But the fact that people don't understand, a lot of people didn't understand. I don't think he does retail anymore, but when he did retail, a lot of people were just so put off by his work. They just thought I guess he thought he was picking on their kid or whatever, and he wasn't. He was just doing a really freaking awesome caricature. You know, as a caricature artist, I would love to not only be able to draw like that, but to be able to, you know, if I was on the receiving end of getting a caricature done by someone like that, you know, I would honestly love it and appreciate it, even though I may not, you know, like what they do to me. I appreciate it for the sheer balls of it. And this girl's done. You see how fast I did that? That's the trick here, is quick speed. Obviously, you know, I could draw her again, and I could sit here and I could spend hours on her. But when you're in a party situation and you want to put these things out quickly, you don't sit there and pour over every single one like you would a studio piece. Some people teach pencil even in a quick party style, and I am dead set against pencil. I was trained, honestly, the first day I showed up at my first job at Carowinds, and I'll never forget, you know, I had my little pencil there, and I was going to start sketching, and my boss man came around and took the pencil away and snapped it in half and threw it down. And at the time, it kind of pissed me off. I was, 19 years old, but looking back, that was one of the best things that ever happened. It's kind of like throwing the bird out of the nest. I just was never allowed to be in the nest to begin with. We showed up the first day, and he threw us to the wolves. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something from it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And shoot me an email, make a comment. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see. This channel is obviously new. It's going to grow. I'm going to be adding more things as it grows, and a lot of that's going to come from feedback. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.